welcome back to Bringing the Zoo to You. My name is Lynette and I'm the videographer here at Brookfield Zoo. And this is a little strange for me because normally I am on the other side of the camera where Katie is today. She's one of our social media staff who is very nicely filming this so that I don't have to be doing this in selfie mode and asking myself questions. So just a little bit about what I do. Well, first of all, we've got Layla back here because you probably don't want to be watching me the whole time. You're here to see animals. So let's look at Layla. And I'll talk a little bit about what I do here at Brookfield Zoo. So I am the videographer here, and it's just me. I'm the only videographer. I provide most of the zoo's video content. That can be anything from just filming animals, doing, cool things. I film veterinary procedures, and I maintain our video archive. So if someone needs a video that was taken like in 1984 or something, I can pull that and transfer it to whatever format they need. I also film a lot of animal observations. So if there's a geriatric animal, for instance, and the vet is doing a new treatment for it or something, they'll get like a before and after video so they can see how well it's working. And sometimes they'll send that footage away to specialists. For instance, with Layla here, they would, if I was filming her, they would send it to an equine specialist to see if they could solve whatever problem she has, and that's actually what ended up happening. I do everything from pre-production to filming to editing, and sometimes even distribution. I do all the graphics and everything. So basically, anything that you see on YouTube and Facebook is video that I've done. But luckily, we have Katie here now to help do some of the TikTok and Facebook stories, and she's my backup for Facebook Live. And that's awesome because I don't keep on top of the TikTok trends. That'd be too much work for me.
Oh, you're trendy, Lynette. We know you could. We do have some people coming in saying you do such a great job.
Oh, well, thank you.
And you deserve to hear that. And also, what are some of your favorite animals to film?
Some of my favorite animals to film. Oh, I love the primates. All of the primates. Doesn't matter what they are. Because they're always doing something, and they're always so funny, and they're so much like us that they're really relatable. And you can see the girl is doing stuff that's like, what my nieces and nephews would do to mess with each other. But they're always doing something. They're my favorites.
Mm-hmm. They can be pretty charismatic on the camera from some of the videos we've seen.
Absolutely, yeah.
From you.
Especially the orangutans.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They're always the best.
We do have someone saying, Lynette, I want your job. How would someone do that? How would someone be able to get the job that you have here at Brookfield Zoo?
So that's a really good question because it is a very unique job. There's only a few videographers, I should say full-time videographers in zoos around the country right now. Most people are just social media people going out with their cell phones, which is great. But it is it's pretty unique to have like a full-time videographer. So, first of all, I have a lot of animal experience. When I was 17, I started at 7 Seas as an attendant, which meant that we would like throw out the beach balls at the dolphin shows, or what's now Dolphins in Action. We called them shows back then. And we did the music, and we would answer questions, so we would do a lot of interpreting. And then when I was in college, I was a seasonal keeper at Children's Zoo for 2 years. So I was working with everything from horses to cockroaches. So I did go to school. I have my bachelor's and my master's, and I have a 2-year degree from College of DuPage, all in communication, with an emphasis on documentary production. So having all of that background together, all mixed in together, is sort of like the perfect combination because when I'm here having the keeper experience, I know how to act around animals, so the animal care staff knows that they can trust me to not do anything stupid, first of all. And then of course I understand animal behavior quite a bit, so I can kind of, I don't know, anticipate how they're going to react to certain things. But also I should really point out, I'm a huge advocate for higher education, but that doesn't necessarily mean like a 4-year university. Anything beyond high school is fantastic. When I first started going to school, we didn't have YouTube, we didn't have social media, we didn't have anything like that. You either had to completely learn on your own, go to film school, or go to university. Now you can take online courses, you can learn everything you need to learn from YouTube. But the big thing to keep in mind is that storytelling is probably more important than technical skills. I'm a judge for a documentary film festival, and we get a lot of films that look really, really beautiful. Like, they're technically perfect, the cinematography is gorgeous, and they get full points for all of that. But some of them just have absolutely no story, and that's not a documentary. That's not all that interesting. You have to have like the right combination of storytelling and technical skills and all of that. So work on all of that kind of stuff if you want to be any kind of videographer.
And that's probably something unexpected when people think about becoming a videographer.
Yes.
Is that aspect of storytelling.
Yes, a lot of people are surprised when I talk to students and things like that and tell them you really need to work on that just as much as being able to operate a camera, because there are different skill sets and anybody can learn how to do it, but not everybody can do all of it. And I don't even do all of it that well. I'm always learning. I'm always learning how to do things differently and finding better ways. But yeah, I don't know. Did that answer the question?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm talking really fast.
You are doing great. Do you have, I know that you usually use a phone for Facebook Live, someone asked, but do you normally use professional equipment? Do you use editing suites?
Yes. We do have, what do we currently have? Panasonic something. Shoot, I totally forgot because we just changed cameras recently. Oh, an HCX1. Panasonic HCX1. I love it. I also have an SLR that I use for things like promos, more like professional type stuff. So I rarely use a phone. We also have GoPros, and that's what we'll put in the exhibits, the habitats. And the animal care staff is really great about helping me out with that. So I would not be able to get a lot of the footage that I get without them.
What are some of your, like, a favorite moment you can think of, or maybe a few of them that you have been lucky enough to capture on video?
One of my favorite things that's ever happened is when Kachil orangutan first came to the zoo, and he's the little orangutan who Maggie was a surrogate mom for. And when he first got here, I should say, I spent a lot of time behind the scenes trying to get footage of him, and it's really, really difficult because we wanted to make sure he would know that he was an orangutan and not be spending time with humans. We wanted him to bond with Maggie. So I could not interact with him in any way, which is really, really hard when you have a young, curious animal who just wants to play. So I had to come up with ways to pretend like I didn't care about him. So at first I would kind of hide behind a corner and then try to pop out, and that didn't really work. And I tried a couple other things, and what I found actually worked was I pretended to sleep. And I would get my camera all ready, and then I would sort of, put my head down on top of it and close my eyes and maybe snore a little bit. And after about 5 minutes, he would lose interest and go and be hanging out with Maggie. And I would just slowly open up my eyes and hit record. And it took him almost a full day to realize I was doing that before he would pretend like he was walking away, like he would stomp his feet. kind of, as much as a baby orangutan can. And then I'd open my eyes and he'd be peeking right at me.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of dedication and time to be able to get some of those key moments that we all love to see on our end. You know, we see a few seconds of them, and it sounds like you sometimes spend a full day getting in there.
Yeah, I was there for probably a full week with Kachil, and it's really funny because I get a lot of comments on our YouTube channel about how bad the video looks, like the lighting and everything. And it is definitely not my best work, but I was working around a lot of challenges for that. So what I got was the best I could get with him popping up. And he also learned how to squirt me with water, so that was awesome.
And there's a totally different context thinking of you going in there and doing all of that and able to get that footage. I think that adds a whole different layer of what it takes to kind of produce that kind of work that you do get.
What else we got?
So are there any exhibits where you've been able to get to be a little closer to the animals?
Yes, I've been able to go in with a lot of baby animals in order to get footage of them, like the snow leopard cubs, when they get their vaccinations. That's the only time that they get separated from their mom, and it's very brief. It's only about 5 minutes. But then I am able to go in and get some footage of them, and it's a really interesting experience because you've got mom kind of watching you the whole time to make sure you're not going to do anything. And even though you know she's not going to get to you, you're like, whoa, this is really cool. I'm with like this huge animal like 5 feet from me.
That is a pretty wild thing to think about.
Yeah.
Some of the fans are wondering if they missed seeing you in the broadcast. Would they be able to see you again?
At the end.
At the end, okay.
At the end.
That's okay. We'll look at Layla right now.
Yeah, Layla's she's one of my favorite animals actually, ever since she had her first procedure done for her sinus problem. I've got to spend a lot of time filming her, especially when she's, you know, having the actual procedure done. So I've really started to care a lot about her. There's some animals I get a lot closer to than others, and I'm always checking on her progress and making sure that she's doing okay, which she is.
Yeah, that's another thing, is you do build those emotional connections. You've been able to spend a lot of time with Layla that the average person isn't able to.
Yes. There's been many animals. Magic Dolphin, when he was first born and the staff was hand raising him, I was there every day to document it. Not necessarily for public consumption, but it was the first time anybody had successfully hand reared a dolphin. And so it was something that we used for conferences and things like that, and just for plain old documentation to see what it takes.
That is pretty cool. You do get a whole mix of so many of the different animals that live here and get to see them during those intimate and really special moments.
Yeah.
We do have another question about what type of Panasonic camera did you say that you have?
Oh, sorry, that was an HCX1.
An HCX1.
Yeah, we've gone through a couple different cameras, but that's my current favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I'm endorsing Panasonic. I'm just saying, because we also have a
This
Sony
isn't
I really
your
like.
official influencer ad. For
No, this is not.
We just have a nice comment saying that they've always wanted to meet you, and you seem like such a great gal and always make them laugh.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I get a little silly during these Facebook Lives sometimes.
And I think people are kind of, you know, used to you, and they hear you on the other end, and they look forward to that.
Oh, that's great. Well, you know, if you're ever at the zoo and you see me carting around my giant camera, please come say hi. Oh, no. I forgot I was attached to you.
That's okay. Sometimes
Sorry.
something unexpected happens. Our microphone, I'm going to zoom out real quick. Our microphones became unattached, but we're now reattached, because usually it's Lynette on this end where I'm at right now.
Yes, I forgot that I was attached to you. I'm sorry. Yeah, sometimes things happen.
Yeah, and that's just how it is when we're doing anything live, and technology, animals, all of it. So you deal with all of those unexpected scenarios.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I'm used to it by now. So thank you for joining us for Bringing the Zoo to You. I hope you enjoyed my little chat. I'm not used to doing these, so I don't know. It was kind of fun. All right. Bye.